So we'll have to see whether or not they fixed it. Let's go in and take a look. House of Lords with Grasshopper, Kodiak 3s, Jenner 2CA Energy, Hunchback 2CA Energy, Timber, and an Oxide. On the 9STS side, looks like they've made a change. We're not seeing those Direwolves on the field this time. I think they have a separate strategy for House of Lords. They're going to mix it up and try something different.
Yeah, I hope so.
So, Black Widows, Kodiak 3s, Jenner 2CAs, and Ballistic Hunchback 2Cs. They are set up in Alpha Lance, so we might
Still looking for DACA, but
absolutely
may not be.
Let's go in and take a look. So Alpha Lance for House of Lords, they don't have their Kodiaks over there, so I don't think they're looking to do any huge trading Alpha to Alpha. They're not going to bring their beef up to that front, so it sounds to me like they might take stage or the backfield. So the question is, how is 9STS going to respond if they're able to move up to stage? Are they going to get aggressive, do some sort of DACA push, or are they going to try and control the map and run caps? Let's take a look. Gauss Rifle LPL coming out of the Timber, Hunchbacks bringing ERPPCs, so they are in a rangy deck on the House of Lords side. I wouldn't doubt they'll peek up, take a shot into Alpha Lance just to see where they're going, and then maybe fall back. They might head up to Rafters. Looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. House of Lords heading up to that ridgeline. 9STS has not peaked yet, but they are getting scratch in from, I guess that's the Grasshopper, jumping right up top, getting some ER large laser shot in. And damage has been
I mean, that is the definition of scratch.
It really is, but
yeah.
9STS then being forced to wait for the rest of their team before they push in. But here we go. Initial shots coming into Xander Peach in that Timber, down to 91%. So that one trigger pull evened it up a little bit, but Kodiak 3, Recall Citrant, leading the charge in that Kodiak, 83%.
And Lords is way back there.
So we're going to see at 9STS approaching stage, so that means they have map control, at least right now. What are they going to do with it? Theta goes in favor of 9STS pretty easily. Some really good shots in on Chimperator in that Hunchback, down to 84%. Good exchange. But they got to be careful. A little bit of enemy at the gates here as they cross the gap. Getting shots in from DACA and PPC. Every time somebody passes, they get hit without being able to return too much meaningful fire.
That strike's going to be a big hit.
Oh, that strike's
right
going to be a big hit. I love it.
Warhammer.
All right, so they've made it across stage. Now, where are they going to go now? They're doing a little bit of a tour here, but are they going to continue this aggression straight up into them?
And they've taken a lot of damage for that tour.
At this point, I don't know if they have much of a choice. They might have to just continue that aggression, try to get it into close range, run Lords up on the heat map, and then shred them down with ballistics. That's the only option for them at this point. Doyle in the Black Widow leading the charge, down to 53%, getting stuck on the rocks, trying to back up. He's spreading damage as best as he possibly can in that standard engine Black Widow. He finally goes down, but he bought his team some time. Let's see if they can get up.
But they went the low ground.
A couple of them breaking off. Wooktek in that Kodiak 3 being faced up by the two Hunchbacks and a Jenner 2CA. They've got themselves a bit of a split, and I don't know if 9STS can really move up with guys on their backfield. Lords have dropped a couple mechs down, and they're actually looping around behind them now as they jump down. And Damir in that Black Widow getting shot in the back. One mech, that Kodiak has gone down finally, but 9STS losing two. Not looking too good for them.
Not looking good at all for 9STS.
Looks like dog meat from Lords with the SRMs chasing down Fritzer in that Jenner 2CA. Should be able to take him down relatively quick. And then the other three on this side just getting shredded down by the remaining Lords mechs. That was a good maneuver by Lords, baiting 9STS up with the split, forcing them up through this narrow passageway. And then as soon as they made that big effort to get up top, just jump off the edge and come around behind them.
Yep.
Easy peasy. In their minds anyways, but that was just so well executed by House of Lords for a very clean 8-2 victory.
Some nice execution, especially after we had seen them kind of post up in a firing line, and really on their first match of the evening when they were playing Tourmaline versus RJF, they messed up their firing line. They messed up the execution once the team pushed in. This time, they got pushed on, and they've responded perfectly.
Absolutely. One of the big differences, of course, is that introduction of ballistics in place of Gauss large pulse laser and Gauss PPC for the aggressor team. With the ballistics, you can shrug off a shot or two when you get hit, because then you're putting out a full alpha of your Gauss PPC right back into them.
Yep.
So you can take a shell to the face and not worry about it too much. You can take a little bit more aggressive peeks as they approach, because it's very difficult to punish somebody with ballistics. At least as grandiose, I guess, as you can punish somebody with pinpoint damage. But 9STS, they made the commitment to that charge, and they tried their best to put it out. Stimrog pulling 673 damage, but Doyle, that initial charge in that standard engine Black Widow, held to 39, but he tanked like a boss. You gotta give him credit. He used every bit of his armor up before falling, so he did what he had to do, but unfortunately it was for naught, because House of Lords just commanding that situation very well, and very impressive. We'll have to see what 9STS can do in Drop 2 once they choose their side of the map.
Looks like 9th STS is picking Team 1. I don't think we've seen a lot of teams stick with the same side.
That is surprising.
It's like the losing teams, I think, wanna mix it up. You know what? I won't even have to create a new lobby. Look at everyone. They're experienced now. They go ahead and leave right off the bat.
Fantastic. Obviously, if something's not working right, you can change it up a little bit, But we have seen one team stick with the same side, and it was House of Lords, opting to do it again after losing when they fell back that time on Team 2. They fell back and got killed. They stuck with the same side, and then they did it again, and then they won it. It was very close, but they stuck with it. So that has happened.
Lords did not win that match. Remember, that was the Hunchback versus the Hunchback and the two lights.
Right.
They lost in a very close. It was much closer.
It was closer, but they did stick with the same side. It did not work out in their favor, though. But they did stick with the same side. My bad.
Yeah.
So nothing's gone to 3. We haven't seen Canyon Network even once so far, compared to Oceanic, where every match went to 3. But
I can't remember what Canyon Network looks like. It's been so long.
Oh boy. Well, while we're waiting, let's take a look at the replay. Let's see here. Okay, so initial charge from Alpha. They are getting that scratch in on them from across the way with that grasshopper. Come on, YouTube. Give me some high quality here. I don't want auto. Give me 720. Let that buffer. Yay, buffering. Okay. So, initial charge by 9STS. They are getting a little scratch on them, but they put some good damage out on that Timber. Not without taking some themselves. That Timber, or the lead Kodiak there, did get kind of a pounding on that initial push. So they are getting hit from rafters a little bit as well. Somebody's way back into rafters, which ultimately is where Lord's backed up to. But travel up to stage, get shot a bunch, not really put anything out. Travel across stage, get shot up a bunch, not really put anything out, and then ultimately charge right into them, but you're already low on the armor, and it adds up. And then that pincer from Lords was fantastic. I love that. Could 9STS have done what Black Spikes kind of did, where they don't charge, they stay stage, and they play the cap game? Because that's what Black Spikes did against 9STS.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do.
They must have been very confident that this charge would give them a good result, I guess. They felt they were close enough, but they did take quite a bit of damage on that push. One of their mechs is at 57%. That is brutal.
Yeah, and I think that was the Hunchback at 57%. I don't know if he was crit open because remember those Hunchbacks can lose their arms, which really takes the damage, down a lot, but
That is
isn't
true.
necessarily a bad
As
thing.
soon as the arms are removed, it's like, oh no, they're at 60%, and it's deceiving. It's very deceiving.
It is deceiving, yeah. But at the same time, you're right. They took a lot of damage coming across there.
Getting into the 3v2 against WOOC, but then, of course, taking shots in the back from that Grasshopper during the entire exchange. And then this jump off the edge for a majority of those mechs, the Timber and the Hunchback, jumping off the ledge and then coming back up around behind him. That was just a good, solid maneuver. 9STS did not have an answer to that one whatsoever. It was a good effort, though. Certainly a good effort.
Well, we have both teams back in lobby now. Flipped team sides. 9th STS aiming to prevent their elimination in this regional finals match.
All right. Both teams getting readied up. I have this message I'm going to paste to you real quick. Okay. Both teams are ready. Let's hop in and take a look. 9STS now on Team 1 with Black Widows again. Kodiak 3s. Everything the same, just different side. On the other side, though, we've got Kodiak 3s, Black Widow. Not seeing that Grasshopper this time. Timberwolf, Jenner 2CA, Jenner Oxide. Let's take a look. Into Tourmaline Desert. Drop 2. Lords up 1-0 on the series for the elimination. Can 9STS stay alive? DACA, 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 DACA. This is all on 9STS. Pure DACA. DACA, DACA. Small pulse. Small pulse. So here we go. Alpha Lance pushing up right off the bat. Looks like they want to trade into these two Hunchbacks.
Lords has a DACA, Kodiak, and Black Widow, I believe. Did I see a Black Widow? Am I daydreaming?
This is a nice right echelon formation for 9STS with this aggressive push. Looks like Stimrock breaking ranks, allowing the rest of his team to start taking some damage. But they've been trading a lot into those Hunchbacks, but I don't know if they put a lot of damage downfield. Only 96% and 98% respectively. But they have been taking quite a bit from that House of Lords firing line set up on Hoop. So it looks like 9STS is trying to channel their inner RJF, basically, moving up to this position. But we'll have to see whether or not they
look at Lord standing up on the ring.
They have themselves a pretty mean-looking firing line.
That's going to be a mean-looking firing line when 9STS comes around the corner if they choose to keep riding the high side like that.
So 9STS
I'm not sure what their ideal
Theta.
push.
They have Theta. I don't think they can keep it though. Dogmeat's right there. I don't know who's going to be able to keep Max off of Theta. They can cover Theta from right here. So maybe they're planning on sticking this out, which could work. Are they? It looks like they might be sending a light back to Gamma potentially. Fritzer, are you heading back to Gamma? Can you tell me? I think he's going to.
Can you tell me? Yeah.
Okay, so they're going for the 3-cap. 9STS is going for the 3-cap. They have Theta. They're sending lights off to Epsilon and Gamma, and they're holding position. This group off on the side here has clear view at Theta if somebody tries to sneak it back, which means Lords is going to have to move up. How are they going to do that? Are they going to just group up and just push into them? Is that going to give 9STS the opportunity to do some sort of pincer?
And here comes the light trying to cap Theta.
Here comes the strike. The strike scared him off. Theta got neutralized. They did not stay on Theta
huge.
long enough to get a full cap, so Theta just flipped back to neutral. Now, caps are still in favor of 9STS, however, so it's not exactly a complete loss, but we've got a Timber and a Black Widow moving their way up the right side now. Looks like the Kodiaks might be starting to shift this way, but I think they want to get an angle on this team here, and this group over by Alpha, they're in a rough place if Lords decides to really put a lot of focus on them. They're also smoking like hell, so every time they peek, it's really easy to see their mechs. But 2 caps to 1. 9STS continuing with the plan. Now, we've got some... the Hunchbacks have made their way over to those spires over there, and they're starting to get some high angles working on them. And Dogmeat now taking Theta. That Strike might get in there in time. It does, so the Strike stops the cap, at least for now. Dogmeat down to 62%. None of his criticals open, but he did finally get a
finally get it, yeah.
So still 2 caps to 2 caps. Sigma will soon go in favor of Lords, and that's going to flip this right back onto a 9STS to make a move. Now,
and they no longer can get Theta, I think, with the positioning that Lords is holding right now.
Maybe, maybe not. I think they could sneak it. They've pulled
You
those
think
Black
they could
Widows
sneak
out.
all the way up?
I
guess you could try and get a...
They've got their lights back. They've got their lights back, so I think they can maybe sneak a cap on it with a light. It's going to be a risky maneuver, but I think they can pull it off. Their lights are done at Gamma and Epsilon. So let's see if Fritzer... It looks like he's going to
make a run for it.
Let's see if Fritzer can pull this off. Now, you know, like you said, though, those PPCs up on the spire is going to make it difficult, but if he can hide behind that, we'll have to see if he can pull it off. They're going to try and stop him. Oh, he's got good cover. He can do this. Now Dogmeat's coming in to stop him. Dogmeat's going to at least look at him. No Strike coming in. This is going to flip back in terms of...
The Strike's coming.
He did get hit.
He did, yep.
Cafe Angst and a Kodiak 3 is coming to do it.
Watch out, little Jenner.
Oh. And he gets chased off the point. So they did get him off, and he did lose some HP because of it.
And he's still taking some fire there. Finally out of cover here.
Now, they did neutralize Theta, so Cap's now still in their favor. They just can't allow anybody to cap Theta, or it's going to just be right back into 9STS to make the move. So that wasn't a complete failure by that light mech to be able to flip that over, or at the very least neutralize it.
And let's see if Lords tries to make a play for it again. Here comes a light.
Lords has a big shift now to that left side. They're not going to allow 9STS to try this again. But to note, they have Xander Peach over here alone in his Timber.
And now they're going for the cap with Hunchback support.
So they've got a big pincer now on 9STS. They've got a push coming up from the left side, but they have that solo Timberwolf up on the right side that's going to be harassing him. And so 9STS is between a rock and a hard place here. And looks like they're calling a push now. Only 3 up front, though. This isn't a very strong push. They need the rest of their mechs up there. They've gotten them to duck down, but that Timber is still shooting at them from that right side, essentially unopposed. And they are hemorrhaging armor.
Last couple of mechs coming in on the sides here, but I think that timing is a little off. That Timberwolf pushed towards their hand.
Finally getting some damage out on that Timberwolf.
Kodiak goes down.
But Stemrog has fallen.
That hurts.
They got Wooktek. Looks like he's kind of backed up against some... he's stuck. He's stuck on terrain. He's caught out in that Kodiak, but looks like he's just barely getting away. 63%. His center torso is open, but... Oh, that Jenner, I think, just got...
Oh, and 2 quick kills.
Headshot, actually. He's still alive. That headshot actually saved him. Or at least saved some of his CT. 3 dead for 9STS. That Black Widow is getting wailed on. He looks like he's about to go down with that Oxide right on top of him. But 2 dead now for Lords. Just trying to stay alive at this point. But there's a lot of very hurt mechs on the field for 9STS, and it's going to be a tall climb to be able to catch up with Lords. Hunchback 2C right in the middle of everything, just getting wailed on. He goes down. Looks like they might cap Theta, but it's going to be too little too late potentially. And then Nigan in the back. Jenner 2C
Yeah, they
getting
just
pounded
lost.
by the Oxide. And I think that's going to be it.
They
Fritzer,
actually snuck a light all the way around to Kappa, but it's not going to be enough at this point.
no. So, well played, House of Lords winning the second drop, staying alive in the elimination rounds, and that's going to be it for 9STS. I don't see Fritzer being able to pull this off. Does he have all of his weapons at least? No, he's down to 3 small pulse lasers. His leg is open. We'll have to see whether or not he can pull it off, but Lords is fanning out.
Missing a torso, so he's slowed down a little bit. Not a good situation.
Absolutely not. So, 9STS will be eliminated from the...
Oh, and a light fight for the end here.
It's a very nasty place to fight.
Yeah, Oxide just legged him, and now it's all over. Both lights show up.
Stop, he's already dead. All right.
There we have it.
Clean up
Lord
caps,
survives.
and then that's going to switch to Lords. Whew. What a fun set of matches today.
Yeah, those were some great matches there.
You know, in higher tier play, you know, the scoreboard doesn't reflect the closeness. Now, I think Lords had this pretty comfortably, but 9STS made them move. You know, they put them at risk. If Lords made a mistake, they potentially could have lost this one still. But they played it very clean. They played over Theta well, and then they set up their firing line and forced 9STS to push in.
And congratulations, 9th SDS, making it this far. Obviously, qualifiers were a ton of matches, a very long and hard tournament for everyone, and they had some great moments as well. Did very well overall in the tournament. Obviously, unfortunately, not going to be continuing on at this point, but 46 wins, 4 losses is absolutely nothing to be upset about.
Absolutely. 9STS, 512 coming out of the Kodiak, 252. I mean, the damage isn't terrible from 9STS.
No.
The Jenner obviously doing a work. Stimrog, unfortunately, only pulling 142, though. That's pretty low for a Kodiak 3, and he was that first to rush and got taken out, so that's pretty brutal. But damages stacked very good for House of Lords across the board. And Leon and that Jenner pulling 3 kills. Good work on his part as well. So Cafe, though, he was that aggressive Kodiak coming up to whack that light in the face. 674 damage in an 8v8. Definitely respectable damage. So...
Absolutely.
All right, well, that was the 4th match. Do we have anything else going on right now?
That is the last match of the day. We have 4 matches played, and then I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches coming up on Sunday.
Technically 4. The 9th match is only if the undefeated team gets defeated in match 8. They have the opportunity then to have the double elimination to stay alive, basically. So 4 matches today, 4 or 5 on Sunday, but either way, we should be able to get an exciting conclusion. So come back on Sunday, and hopefully we will be able to give you guys yet another good show as we get closer to the end. Best teams in EU duking it out. Let's, before we break, let's go take a look at the replay. See if there's anything that sticks out as being huge. 9STS with their initial charge up to that position. This is too far back. All right, here we go. So the initial charge, they did take a decent amount of damage on the charge without being able to really put any of that back. They kind of hit for about 9% apiece. Whoa, that's laggy. Come on, YouTube.
Yeah, that match was a lot closer than I think maybe it might have appeared, but you're right. The Lord's just a little tighter, a little better trades, a little better control of the map. And on Conquest, you can't sit back and wait. You can't hope that the situation changes for you. Usually being reactive is not as good as being active, being the team to take control of the
Oh, that's
match.
the other one. Jeez. Okay, so 9STS pushing up to over here. They wanted to control Theta. Lord's setting up at Hoop. And then you had that little bit of back and forth on the lights. Caps in favor of 9STS, so eventually Lords had to move. And the move that Lords made was to retake Theta, which then flips it back into 9STS to having to make the move. So when you can make the move and get away with it, that's when you flip it right back into your control. So Theta in favor of Lords. They were going to send Fritzer right back in to give it a shot. The big one on this, that Kodiak coming around that left side, whacking him in the face. He's at 94% right now. As soon as he gets in there and starts capping, he does neutralize it, which is big. And that, I think, reaffirmed Lord's commitment to swing around that side and just seal the deal, finish it up. But either way, that strike bought time, and then ultimately the Kodiak coming up and finishing it. That strike right there was perfect. We saw a couple of those, some good strikes to stop caps, and then the movement by the Kodiak, and here comes that burst.
Yep.
Right to the face. Get out of there. And so that neutralized it. Lords continues their right side swing. 9STS, because of that rightward swing, feeling they have no choice but to move into House of Lords, but that initial charge just felt a little staggered. I felt like they kind of left somebody behind a bit. I'm not sure if he was staying back to trade, but they're essentially armor share charging with 3 mechs right into the main body of Lords. Doesn't take a lot to really just shred them down, and Lords made it look easy. They really did.
Yeah, and that push, like you said, it almost felt like they had a couple hunchbacks in the lights coming up from stage off to the side, but they just didn't get there immediately. You know, as soon as those Kodiaks moved around, they were already engaged a good 30 seconds before those hunchbacks got into the fight.
And I can see Lords kind of reacting to that, but they were able to just comfortably come back, finish Stimrog off. That Timberwolf off into the deep by Sigma here, putting out a decent amount of damage across the field like that. That was just that extra little bit that just allowed Lords to hit 9STS from every angle as they approached. And then WOOC did get stuck, did get a lot of hits on him, but weren't able to
still
finish
managed
him
to
off.
slip away.
Yep. Got around the corner. And so then at that point, 9STS just trying to shoot at whatever they can, but a lot of like 1v2, 1v3 battles going on across the field. WOOC finally goes down to the light mech after that initial trade, but too little too late at that point. 9STS not able to get anything else down, and Lords takes it. So well played, Lords. Lords will be moving up to play against Black Spikes. That'll be on Sunday. 9STS has been eliminated. So we'll be seeing RJF versus Eon Synergy.
That'll be a good match.
And Black Spikes versus Lords. And then the winner of that will play the loser of RJF versus Eon Synergy. And then the winner of that will go up to play the finalists. The undefeated team will play the winner of the losers bracket for the grand finale on the EU side. So we are
exciting.
going to be back on
Saturday.
Fun. We should be back on Saturday for the beginning of the North American regional finals. Excited to see that. We've got teams like Imperial, House of Lords, their NA team, SJR, Storm Jaguar, and 228 Blackwatch all up there duking it out, just like we saw today, but with a little bit of a North American flavor, of course. And everybody will be pushing to become the victor and head to Vancouver for the grand finals. 4 great matches today. We've got Oceanic on Sunday as well, so it's going to be Super Sunday.
It's a
lot of
super
stuff going on.
weekend for MechWarrior Online.
Super weekend for sure, but Sunday's going to have Oceanic. It's going to have EU. It might have NA, depending on who gets eliminated for NA on Saturday. We could see it either on Sunday or Monday, depending. There's a contingency in place. That's why you didn't see it in the schedule, but we'll be announcing it after the results of Saturday. So mark your calendars. It's going to be a big weekend for MechWarrior Online. But that is going to be it for us today. I, of course, am Bandit B17, and this is MDM0. And we are going to see you guys on Saturday.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.